What's going on, guys? Happy Monday morning. I hope you guys had a fantastic weekend. This is your host, Sunny, from the podcast It's Always Sunny in the Six. And today we got another great episode for you guys with my man, Danny Ishac. Who is Danny? Well, Danny is a barber over at the Fitting Room here in Toronto. He is also a hustler, a businessman, an entrepreneur. He started his own line of candles, actually, which was launched. Hard launch was this past Friday, 1289 Essentials. This is an episode for you guys. It's a fun one where we kind of dive into our own personal journeys and growths, but more importantly, kind of how he got into the candle business and how he got into it, why he got into it, and how that journey's been like. So pretty good episode for all you guys out there that are entrepreneurs, but more importantly, for anybody out there that's looking for inspiration. You know, we only live this one life, so it's only important that we make the most out of it and take as many shots as we possibly can, get out of our comfort zone, do something different, do something new, and try different things. So anyways, tune in, and as always, of course, hit the subscribe button, follow the podcast on all your listening platforms to stay up to date, and also follow us on Instagram at Always Sunny in the Six. Let's get rolling.
All alone with me.
Many more to come though, because you know you're in your line of business. I think you know with the launch of 1289. Congratulations, first of all.
Thank you so much.
I know you.
Yeah.
You know I've been cutting hair from you like in the last year and a half or something.
Yeah.
I was in Scarborough last couple of weeks and went to my old guy.
I know. I was looking at you. I was like, this motherfucker, eh? This guy invites me to his podcast and gets a haircut. Now I'm just talking shit. Like a lot of people think barbers have this attitude where it's like if you come into the shop and you try a different barber,
right?
It almost feels like beef. But like it all depends on the shop. And like us at the Fitting Room, we're a family. We all know each other's style.
Right.
So we're pretty comfortable seeing other clients go to other barbers.
Yeah.
So it's like it's funny because I always see like some of my clients, and if they couldn't check me because we're not doing beards, they're like trying to hide as if they cheated on me or some shit.
Yeah,
like
that's
that,
exactly.
You know what I mean?
I'm sure a lot of clients think like that. Like, yo, Danny, I got a haircut because I was in.
Like I literally walked in and I was like, I can't stare at this guy's haircut because if I do, he's gonna probably be thinking like, is this guy tripping? But I was like, nah. It's like trying to like nonchalantly look past you.
So I went to Muskoka 2 weekends ago.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and so I've been to my parents. I think like being downtown right now is like. There's not really much to do.
There's
right?
really nothing to do.
Like it's either like I have this podcast going, which is great, but like for the most part, even not working out, like I know this weekend we're getting double digit weather, which is awesome.
This whole week has been incredible.
And so I was in Scarborough with my parents, and I saw them from Sheer. I was like, all right, cool. I'll drop by, and went to Muskoka. I was there 2 weekends ago, and then I just got back because of this podcast.
Oh, that's crazy. Imagine if I bailed, you would be like, this guy.
Well, I mean, I'm gonna link up a few people afterwards for Friday night, just kind of hang out, you know. But other than that, man, like, you know, speaking of getting into shape, dude. Yeah. You've been like, so the people that know Danny, first of all, Danny is, for those people who don't know who Danny is he's a barber. Yeah. He's been in the game for some time. It's been a while. You know, killer craft, of course.
Thank you so much.
For the people in Toronto who know Danny, of course, you guys know that he kills that. But like, fast forward to today, he launched his own candle line.
Yeah.
1289 Essentials.
Yeah.
Congratulations to that, first of all.
Thank you. Cheers on that, because that was a hustle.
That was big.
Was a grind. Yeah. Honestly, today was, hold on, let me take a sip of this. Yeah. Today was like all types of nerves, man. I was like cutting clients, and like it's been inconsistent. Like due to COVID, the restrictions, my schedule is just up and down. So today, ironically, I'm fully booked. Right. And it's like God knew. He's like, this motherfucker's, I'm gonna put this guy to work. This guy wants it. I'm gonna put him to work. So the brand's launching at 12 o'clock. I'm setting everything up. I have clients back to back, and man, honestly, all I can say is like, me and my boy were talking about this yesterday. We were talking about how like people need once in their life to experience the feeling of creating something, and that anxiousness and that high you get pressing the button of launching it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's a whole process, I think. Like, and hearing it, like every time I would catch up with you, and you know, you got to understand that a lot of barbers they know everyone's story.
Yeah.
If you're someone that's loyal and you've been going to the same barber for, let's say, 10, 15 years, they see you grow from being like that adolescent, in your 20s, immature, clubbing, to then fast forward, you have kids all of a sudden and different hustles and whatnot.
100%.
But with you, man, I remember when I first met you, like to see where you were, to see where you are today, this candle is a prototype that's been like, it's been a work in progress.
It's been a work in progress.
But to see where it is today, it's fucking dope, man. It's like I gotta commend you on that. First of all, like branding to the point, everything is on the tee.
Well, I first of all, I appreciate you saying that, and like, yeah, dude, it's like how you were talking about getting fit. I work out, I see myself every day now, right? So to me, nothing's changed.
Right.
I'm just living in my day, like my day to day, going through whatever I have to do, and I end up I see what I see every day. So it's crazy for people to come and be like, hey, Danny, like, wow, you're in shape now. You look good. Because to me, I'm literally telling you, there's no difference.
Yeah.
It's like the brand is a little bit different. It's my baby. And I'm like literally watching it grow.
Right.
I'm watching it flourish.
Right.
And the amount of energy your parents put into you, and they were like, oh my God, Sonny, like, be like this, go to school here, study this. That's
be a doctor.
Be a doctor, all that shit. It's like, I'm putting that type of effort into this brand, and like, yeah, today felt like it was like it was giving birth, and it was there, and it was just it was a crazy feeling.
It's awesome, man. I think that, especially all the entrepreneurs that are out there listening, and people that are aspiring to kind of do something on the creative end and create something, we have an opportunity. I think this pandemic gave everyone an opportunity to kind of reflect and be like, all right, my life is good. Yeah. I'm still employed. I still got my hustle. What can I do more? And you got to ask yourself, there's more to life than what I'm doing right now. 100%.
I agree with that. And it's also like, for me, what happened throughout the whole pandemic, or at the beginning, dude, I questioned everything I was doing. Yeah, I was like, like, obviously, like I was going through some personal shit. I won't get into that. But like, being in that moment, I was a little bit scared, because I was like, dude, this was supposed to be my summer, like fucking hot boy summer. Let's get it. You know what I mean? And now I'm like literally stuck at my parents' house, as if like I rewind and I'm like back in like 2010. So it was like it was really shocking, and sitting there thinking like, am I going to pursue candles? Am I going to continue barbering? Like, the cool thing is, like, I buckled down, and I just told myself, like, this year, although it's a write-off, like, quote unquote, I feel like it's more of a time to focus, kind of recreate who you want to be. And like, nobody can really judge the moves you're making. There's really no pressure now.
Right.
There's literally no pressure. You just got to focus on what do you feel is your purpose,
right?
And what could you benefit others with what you're bringing into this world?
I think that's the thing. Like, I think Toronto is a city of so many distractions.
100%.
From Fridays, Saturdays, you end up on King Street or anywhere, and then the next, like, the older you get, like me and you are the same age, like, our recovery is fucking longer too.
Oh, dude, right? I feel like what age we are now is really not the age.
But that's why like now it's like, I think it's like, okay, we're in a pandemic, 2020. It's like, okay, I got this time now. Yeah. What am I gonna do? What can I do? Right. Yeah. I want to talk about how you got into the candle business. I want to talk about fitting room, how the business is. But more importantly, I want to do a pulse check, man.
Okay.
2020. How you doing, man? Like, how have you been doing it personally?
Oh man, that's a deep question.
Like, where were you like back in March to see where you are today? How has these 8-9 months been for you? Like,
wow. Okay, so like I was saying, like, oh man, where am I right now? Like
one of the things I noticed is, like, right off the bat, you being super fit, man. You lost a tremendous amount of weight.
Yeah, dude.
What have you started doing? What have you done? What have you started doing during the pandemic that kind of shifted gears?
I ended up going back to my parents' house. Okay. So over the pandemic, I ended up just staying with them. Like, I had my condo, I had my dog at the time, and I was like, you know what, man, I don't know what's gonna happen. What if there's an outbreak? Let me just stay at my parents' house.
Right.
So being at my parents' house, I have a little sister. She's like trying to become this, like, the top chef of Canada right now. Okay, so every other day she'd be like, Danny, I have this pizza, try this. Okay. Oh, I made this pasta, I saw this recipe on TikTok, and you just gotta try this. Yeah. So then with that, and my mom, obviously, like, only son, my mom's like always kind of like catering to me, taking care of me. Like, I know she doesn't want to admit it, but I am the favorite. Hands down, I'm definitely the favorite. So long story short,
you're the oldest, right?
No, so I got 2 older sisters, 1 younger.
Okay.
So I'm like technically me and the one right above me are
So
essentially
you're
the
like
middle
the
ones.
in-between middle kid
Yeah,
syndrome,
yeah.
2.5. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
you know what I
okay.
mean? Yeah, I'm the one
yeah.
that like caused all this shit. Being the only boy, they're like, what the fuck did we get ourselves into?
Yeah, yeah. Oh, you're the only boy, right?
I'm the only boy of
okay.
4 kids, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And like they're all like goody two shoes, and then there's this tattooed I don't give a fuck swearing, like I just like getting into trouble. So yeah, being at home, they were feeding me. I was like, listen guys, like prior to COVID and the shutdown, I was trying to be active again. Like you said, Friday nights in Toronto, all these distractions in the city. The fact that I don't have to do that anymore, I was like, cool, I'm gonna just see what I can do with my body at the time. So I literally switched up my diet. I came to a point where like I wasn't eating any carbs.
Yeah.
I cut out carbs, not the best idea, but I dropped carbs. I was eating a lot like high veggie, high protein.
Okay.
And bro,
Like when you say cut out carbs, like completely bread, rice. What about quinoa?
no bread, no rice, no quinoa. I was doing good carbs. Like let's say I was getting carbs through like eating cauliflower,
Okay.
Sweet potato,
Right,
like
right.
all that kind of stuff, carrots, but
Yeah.
pretty much like getting whatever carbs I can get from vegetables and just proteins.
So was it like a ketogenic diet almost, or?
Like I don't want to like it was, but it wasn't an intention.
It's not like
of doing
you.
so.
It's not like you were eating like high fat foods. Because I
No.
think with keto, what it is I tried it last year.
Yeah.
It's like you eliminate carbs,
Yeah.
but you have to have a high ratio of fats.
Yeah.
So like your avocados, your MCT oil, and
Yeah.
all that other good stuff. It's good. You lose a tremendous amount of weight,
Yeah.
but it's not necessarily sustainable for the long term. Right?
And that's the thing. Like I have my boy Jay, and he's always riding me. He's like, "Oh, bro, what? What do you mean you're not eating carbs? Like, are you crazy?"
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
He's like, he's my personal trainer, and obviously throughout COVID, we really haven't been able to link up.
Okay.
But yeah, he's always riding me about it. So I'm trying to like
Is he a big guy?
incorporate. He's like, yeah, he's a
Because
pretty
most
like
of my
stocky
big guys
guy.
say the same thing. They're like, "Yo, what the fuck? No carbs."
Yeah,
What are you
yeah,
trying to be?
but I'm like, listen, bro, I'm Middle Eastern, and like if I start eating carbs, it's a wrap for me. Like,
Yeah,
I start
dude. If I eat
gaining
a
weight.
pizza tonight,
Yeah.
I'm gaining 5 pounds.
I swear to God, I try to explain that to people, and they're just like, "No, Dan, you're fucked up." And I'm like, "Listen, bro, like that's what happens to me all
Yeah.
the time." So like, I feel better eliminating carbs. It's just picking and choosing. Like today, for example, I was like, "Okay, I'll smash a pizza."
Right.
Other than that, like for the rest of the week, now that I know I gained that extra 5 pounds, I'm
Yeah.
gonna like make sure I eat like veggies for the rest of the week. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It sounds nuts, but I feel better. I feel lighter.
Yeah.
Like even prior to this diet, 2 years, like for 2 years now, I was pretty much vegetarian. So I was like on a pescatarian diet. I'll say that. Like I was
Okay.
eating fish, mainly veggies.
Right.
And ever since I've kind of adjusted my diet, I feel a lot better, especially in my gut.
Right. Right.
And you want to talk about like mental health and all this stuff?
You probably get a lot of clarity, like and whatnot too. Right?
That's the thing that I saw like the biggest difference in.
Yeah.
Like thought processes and just like feeling lighter, like being a barber, cutting hair all day, having a lunch middle of the day.
Yeah.
Let's say you're smashing a huge meal,
Yeah.
meat, carbs, all this stuff. Dude,
Yeah.
I want to go to sleep after that.
Of course.
I can't continue to do 6 more haircuts. I'm
Yeah.
sluggish.
Yeah.
With this new diet and even cutting out like meats and all that stuff prior to this diet,
Right. Right.
I was feeling super light.
Yeah.
I felt better after eating lunch and getting the rest of my clients than doing like my clients in the morning to
Right.
my lunch.
It enhances your productivity, right? Because
Yeah.
like I don't know really the science behind it, but it has to do with your glycogen levels. They
Yeah.
spike up a lot, right? Like guys like me and you,
Yeah.
like even me as a brown man,
Yeah.
we have 2 problems. A, if I get a haircut from you,
Yeah.
my hair is already growing back the next day.
Oh my god, bro! Okay,
that's
first
issue
of all,
number
I'm cutting your hair and I'm swearing because like, bro, this shit's growing back as I'm cutting it. It's crazy.
It's crazy, man.
It's
That's why I have to
crazy.
cut. I have to see you like every so often, like 2 weeks
Yeah.
literally, right? And even then, I'm like, fuck.
It's not enough.
And then eating, man. Like if I
Yeah.
eat, that's why like I try to cut. I'm cutting back alcohol quite a bit.
Yeah.
Mostly like White Claws, unfortunately, but like or like hard liquor,
Yeah.
right? And wines and whatnot. But I think priority this year has been health for sure.
100%. I think that's like on the forefront of everything. When you get stripped of your job, your day-to-day routine,
Right.
your friends, your family.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, you got to take care of that one person. and
Did
that's yourself.
you run or bike this summer or?
Yeah, I did a lot of biking.
Oh, yeah?
So one of my homies hooked me up with a training plan. So like all lightweight dumbbells, like just like I was doing 10-pound dumbbells, all like body weight workouts.
Okay.
And then the majority of my summer, and the reason I feel like I sped up the weight loss was biking.
Okay.
And I was in Milton. I had like my cousins there, like a few of my boys, so we would all just link up.
Yeah.
And the cool thing about it is like, although you're biking for hours, you're biking with people, you're laughing, you're stopping. It becomes like a social thing, and we're lacking that all summer, obviously.
right.
So you enjoyed every minute of it. Whereas like if you're in the gym and you're like, I fucking hate going to the gym.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
honestly, if it was up to me, I'd be a fat fuck my whole life, and I would just accept that and move, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, this was good.
I hear you on that, man, because like I lack the discipline to do my individual workout, so I actually thrive on group fitness.
100%.
So like to be in like an environment where there's people around me, because like if I think twice, I'm like I'm done.
Yeah.
Then it's like, all right, fuck you. Like there's people around you.
Yeah.
There's like you know a much older, bigger guy who's chubbier that's killing it.
Yeah.
You got to keep going, right?
Oh, bro, there's this girl squatting like 3 times the way you can squat. You're
like,
bro,
fuck this shit.
I gotta man up right now.
But I remember this pandemic, like, man, like me and my boys, imagine a bunch of 30-year-old guys biking down Bloor, going to Riverdale. And we biked quite a bit this summer. And it felt like, you know, I'm like, I can't remember the last time I biked. Probably maybe it was like 16, 15, 14. Yeah. But it was nice to chill with my boys. Yeah. We would bike, we would blaze in between, spark a J a little bit. I don't know how you do that. And we would still clock in like 20, 21 kilometers almost.
Holy, doing that high is
not
like,
every single time, but that was more of our chill session. Like,
Yeah.
hey, let's go biking, let's explore the city a little bit and do it. And I'm like, as much as I miss, like, I enjoyed my partying days and going on King Street, I think this year came along with a lot of silver linings, right? Like, what was your biggest silver lining this year?
You know what, like, mainly like you said, health, obviously, like focusing on health. And okay, actually I gotta rewind on that. It's complete gratitude. Yeah, I'm the type of person, and I'm not gonna tow my own horn or anything like that, but like you see it with my like I'm barbering now. I'm getting into fitness. I'm always focused on the brand. I'm always trying to like find ways to better problems. Okay, right. So you don't stop and think like I'll buy a property, I'll be like, shit, man, you know what, I need to buy another one. Mm-hmm. It's like, dude, like some people can't even do that. Right. So I stop and I think, and I'm just like, look, like I've been through my, like whatever I had to go through to get this property, whatever. I slow down and I actually, like what I've been doing over COVID is like appreciating the fact that I bought a condo. Yeah. Like just to put it out there, I struggled so hard to close on this condo. Right. I think I kind of told you about it.
This is the one in Saga, right?
It was the one in Saga. Yeah. Right. So I got it for a good deal. The fact that COVID hit, I ended up going from like being completely ready to close, the files ready to close, to like, hey, this guy can't even close. He's not even considered an essential worker. Yeah. So that opened my eyes. It went from investing prior to that and being able to close and be like, oh, I'll close anything, I don't care, I'll get it done, like whatever, even if I have to fake the numbers, I don't care, I'll get it done. We'll make
it work. Yeah.
And this, like, my mortgage broker looked at me and he's like, buddy, this is not gonna happen. Yeah. That was huge for me. And when I closed, I literally, till this day, I'm walking in and I'm just like thanking God that I have this. Yeah. And I think that's the main thing. So I apply that to everything in life. So one person could have bought a candle today. Right. So I launched the website, great support. So many people came out, messaged, commented, reposted. But even if it was just one person, right, I would have been like, thank you, God. Thank you. Yeah. And that's what I'm trying to practice. I'm trying to try my best, even out of COVID, if we ever get out of it.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah, fingers crossed. I want to just be at a point where whatever achievement I get, whatever success, even any failure, I just want to thank God that I was able to do it. Yeah.
I love that, man. I think that, that's a good reminder for me too. Yeah. Like, you have to be present. Yeah. And to be present, you got to show gratitude. I started doing a little exercise. I stopped doing it for the last couple of weeks, but it's like waking up and writing down 3 things that you're grateful for. And it could be the simplest things. Like, I remember, like, I used to, like a couple of years ago, I used to like, I'm like, I want to live downtown. I want to, no matter what, That was my thing. Now that I'm downtown, I forgot like that piece of gratitude where I'm like, I'm here and I'm in the city. I live on my own. I have the liberty to kind of do whatever I want. I think we as a people in general, we're constantly anxious to do more and to do the next thing, where we never essentially stand still and appreciate what we have.
100%.
And when you take a step back and you look at yourself, you're like, fuck, shit, life is actually pretty good.
You really can appreciate it, and just live in that moment. Like, stop and just smell the air and be like, yo, I went from living in my parents' house, now I own a place in Toronto. Yeah. Like, it's crazy, man. Like,
and like simple things, not even tangible things, like things like being able to walk, things like being able to run. Because like, I think about my life, I'm like, I'm 32. Yeah. And I'm like, fuck, another 30 years. Like, these 30 years for me flew. Yeah, like, I want to now determine, because I've reached, like, I think at your 30s, you reach a certain level of emotional maturity. Yeah. And in your 20s, you make a lot of important decisions that impact and affect the rest of your life.
1,000%.
And you ask yourself, if I had the emotional intelligence that I have today in my 20s, I wonder where my life would be today. And now I'm like, well, what I have the option to do that today.
Yeah.
So that when I'm 40, I don't think about that and be like, well, I wish I did that when I was 30.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So like, it's bittersweet. Learn from your past, but execute. Right? Make it happen today. So gratitude, man. That's a big one. I think that people forget that during this pandemic, especially.
I think a lot of people forget. We're all caught up in like, oh, why do we gotta wear masks?
Yeah.
What's going on? It's a conspiracy. And like, listen, if there's a full conspiracy by the government, it truly is out of our hands. And the only thing we could do is pretty much just wait, get the facts, and then at some point, challenge it.
Yeah.
And see where it goes.
Yeah.
You know, but if you spend time with anything, if you spend time constantly thinking about business, yeah, cool, you're gonna be thriving in business and doing your thing, but you're gonna miss out on all the other things that this world has to offer.
Yeah.
So it's hard, like gratitude and also balance, like just finding a balance, like you were just saying. If you just like, I love what you said about like in your 20s, because I read this book and it was called The Defining Decade.
Okay.
And in this book, I can't remember the author or anything like that.
By the way, guys, for those guys who don't know, Danny, one of the things I respect about you the most is when we first started talking, you named so many books that were already on my like to read list.
Oh, for real?
It's always good to read someone that also reads, right?
Yeah.
But so this is called The Defining Decade?
The Defining Decade,
okay.
Yeah. And I don't even know how I'm trying to think back. I was at Future Shop and I'm like trying to get a deal on like
Future Shop.
Yeah, this is a throwback. These kids are like, what the hell is the Future Shop?
Yo, Future Shop. Holy shit, man. So walk down memory lane.
Literally. I was there at like 23 years old and I'm like, I'm trying to get a deal on Monster headphones. I'm like trying to scam because I know they used to have like these warranties and stuff like that. So like if you damage it, you exchange, whatever. So I'm talking to this guy and like we ended up developing a relationship. And ironically, it was over books. It wasn't even about electronics or anything. So we started trading books.
Okay.
So this guy's like, dude, you need to take this book and you need to read it. He gave me his book.
Right.
Very long story short, it talks about how our fathers in their 30s to 40s were able to basically, like, their fathers came to them and said, son, look outside, and there was dirt. And he's like, you go outside and you lay your grass.
Okay.
So our generation, you and I, we're walking outside. We actually saw the grasses our parents had laid for us.
Yeah.
And that mentality is different between our parents to us.
Yeah.
They had to work and lay grass. We had to do nothing.
Yeah.
So we had this entitlement. All of us in our 20s are like, oh, dog, we're going to make it.
Right.
Like, our dads are successful.
We have a fallback.
Yeah.
Right.
We have a fallback.
Yeah.
Exactly. So what this book kind of talks about, it tells you, it's like, listen, like, you need to be a little bit more proactive. Rather than starting in your 30s like your dad or your mother did, you got to actually start in your 20s just to be where they are today.
Right.
And when I read that, I was like, oh my God, like, I need to just get on this shit. And that was like right about the time I was working at CIBC.
Okay.
So it was like 22, 23. I had conversations with my one of my old bosses at a shop that I worked at in Mississauga.
Right.
And he was pushing me. He's like, Danny, you need to quit the bank, get into barbering. You're going to take over. Like, just get on it.
Right.
And when I read that book, honest to God, that's why I made my switch.
How old are you?
How old am I now?
No, when you made that switch.
So I'll say 22.
22,
Like 22, 23 is when I like literally had quit the bank. And like, we're talking about, I was at the bank for 3 years at this point.
Okay.
I was rising and I had like my manager investing in me. I still till this day get emails to do my IFIC and all that stuff.
Right. Yeah.
Like, it's crazy.
Yeah, I did my CS. Actually, you know what, man, what's crazy? I live in this condo.
Yeah.
My first job was in that building across the street. And I was facing this way. Right. This is back in 2012 at RBC Dominion Securities. Actually, 2010 RBC Dominion Securities. Then I got my full-time job. It's funny how like you come back full circle.
It's crazy.
And life is like, life is all about, you make mistakes.
Yeah.
And you fuck up.
Yeah.
You know, and that's frankly speaking. And you got to ask yourself like, okay, am I gonna go boo-hoo, I fucked up, life sucks, or am I going to wake up, shake it off, and do something about it?
Just go hard.
Right? And then, so on that note, like, fast forward to today, you've been at Fitting Room for how many years now?
Wow, just that Fitting Room. We're literally going to celebrate our 6-year anniversary, and I've been there since the doors open. Right. Yeah.
I have huge amount of respect, for the craftsmanship of barbers, also to be able to stand there and cut hair and make sure that every client has the same amount of attention. It takes a lot, man. Like, I think about things like patience,
Yeah.
I can only imagine. What's the
God.
most annoying thing about cutting hair? Or do you have any annoying clients, or like have you had any?
Well, I don't want to expose anybody right now. There's a bunch. I can name a bunch. And
Yeah.
like Jade at the barbershop. She's a Filipino girl.
Yeah,
that
yeah,
cuts
she's right
beside
next.
me.
She's a chair next to you, right? Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
She calls me the grumpy barber.
Okay.
She knows. She's like, listen, when Danny comes into the barbershop in the morning, she'll address me with like the biggest smile and like, hey Danny, good morning, and I'm just looking at her like, yo, fuck off. So when I start cutting, she knows like if somebody's talking to me in the morning, it's like, bro, this guy's not gonna he's not gonna get Danny. Like Danny's gonna tell you to just be quiet because he just doesn't. He's not in there.
He's low on carbs, guys.
Oh my god, literally, I'm freaking hangry. So that's like obviously conversation's great. The patience thing, sitting behind the chair all day, making sure every person looks good is pretty strenuous. But like things that drive me nuts are just people that are not aware that they're getting a haircut.
Right.
I'll be cutting somebody's hair. Somebody will walk by. I'm literally doing a skin fade, and this guy turns his head almost 360 just to see who walked by. And I'm like, bro, I almost shaved a patch in your head. So shit like that, man. Like I know all these barbers make memes and like videos of like the client that moves with the clipper. Sometimes you're like fading, and like this guy, like as you're pushing into his head, he's moving his head back. So I can name a few. But,
yeah. There's this one TikTok. I got into TikTok,
TikTok
for content generation. So for my people out there that are like, what the fuck, Sonny?
Yeah.
The content that you put out on TikTok versus Instagram, I'm getting like much more viewership on there.
It's insane.
Than I am on Instagram. It's throwing this podcast to a completely different ballpark. And so on TikTok, I came across this barber from St. Louis. He cuts hair and he makes a video as he's cutting hair. And this guy, like, he does this one prank where he waters. Have you seen that?
What? He's a Spanish kid.
Lost cuts or something.
Cuts. Yeah. Bro, this guy kills me. He kills me. Like the shitty pulls, I saw a few and I was just like, bro, how did you get away with this? Like, I saw sometimes I'm like, is it staged? Is it not? But there are a few that just they really, really caught me off guard.
Yeah, so it's to set the stage for the people who haven't seen it. It's literally a barber who's like, you gotta, if you have dry hair, he uses one of those water bottles to wet your hair.
Yeah.
This guy's literally like spraying you,
soaking you down
for not just 5 seconds, like literally 2 minutes straight. And if you have like the one client that's really shy and reserved,
they'll take it.
It's like, what the fuck's happening? But they're not gonna say it.
Just like, okay. There was one, like the guy's like, yo, brother, just like, don't get any hair on me.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, bro, I got you. Don't worry.
Yeah.
The guy throws one cape on, throws another cape on, throws the third, the fourth, the fifth. The guy's like, yo, dude, I just said don't get any hair on me. He's like, okay, yeah, I got you. Literally grabs another cape and throws it on. And some of these guys he's doing are like hoodmans.
Right,
and like these guys snap.
Yeah, same guy.
Yeah.
Same guy. Yeah, same guy. It's so funny, man. It's like, and we live in a world right now, like going back to, there's content, right?
Yeah.
I told myself when I started this podcast, it's been 1 year, November.
Oh, congratulations.
Thanks, man. Yeah. Doing it with conjunction of a full-time job and my side hustles. This is my passion hobby.
I love that.
I'm thinking of ways to monetize this, but I haven't really started monetizing at all yet.
Yeah.
But
which is okay.
I get a different level of currency, which is meeting people and getting inspired 100%. And getting inspiration in terms of different ways and things that you're doing. But it's a time to either consume content or generate content.
Yeah.
It's a time to spend money or make money.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like, you have this paradigm, you can be on this spectrum where you can spend money and just spend and be on debt. And in my 20s, I kind of learned that as well. I think most of us do. Where it's like, fuck, OSEP gets thrown at you. Think about it like university, man.
Yeah.
York University, I would be like walking down like York Lanes and there'd be a BMO kiosk. I'm in my 20s. You're like, hey, do you want a credit card for $5,000?
Oh, man.
And I'm like, sure, why not? But the thing is, like, we lack financial literacy at that age.
We have no idea what's going on.
So I think of that, like, I think it's pretty fucked up.
Yeah, it's a bad mentality, and that's kind of, I don't want to say this, but that's why I left the bank, just to jump in there.
Yeah.
I left the bank because we were target, like, I don't want to say people target like younger individuals, but that's one of the sales points. And it's like, there's a younger person coming in right away. You think, oh shit, like that kid's in school. They don't have money. They're going to want extra money. Hit them with a credit card.
Right now, yeah.
You know what I mean?
And by the time you graduate, not only do you have your student debt, but you have all this credit card debt. And like, fuck, all right. That's just the reality we live in. And I think that it's kind of humbled me and seeing you as well. Like, so, before we get into how you got into candles, how have you professionally been affected with the shutdown? Like, I had a guest the other week talk about gyms and stuff.
Yeah.
but from a business perspective, how was that like, man? Like, when did you guys first get notice?
We got like, I swear to God, it happened so quickly. In February, we thought, okay, cool, like this is like SARS, whatever. It's not gonna come here. We should be fine. Then like I start seeing the news, and it's like, oh, our first case. I'm like, holy fuck, this is like potentially getting serious. So literally, I can just remember that to, hey guys, we're shutting down March 15th. Literally, like I feel like there was no like transition period. It was just like case one. Wow, now we're at thousands. Okay, shut down. See you later.
Yeah.
So when I heard that, I was I wasn't like as nervous as I was a little happy, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I was tired. I was working on the candles. Like this is just now coming out of a busy season. I wanted to like relax.
You just got back from vacation too, right?
I was also, I know, I can't say I'm tired when I got back on vacation. I took a few vacations. Holy shit. I was in Australia in December.
And then birthday, when was your birthday again?
My birthday's in December. So it was like my 30th birthday.
Yeah.
Hold on, sorry.
That's okay.
That was funny. Sorry. Nobody's allowed to cough in 2020. Sorry.
On that note, man, yeah, definitely. Like, it's fucked up. You cough now in public, it's like people are giving you the death stare.
Like and you know me, like I cough, like I have asthma, like I cough. So I'm in the grocery store and I'm like trying not to like make a sound.
Right.
Because like whatever, I don't want to make anyone uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And it's like at the end of the day, like.
I mean, if you guys want to speed the line and the line is long, just start coughing.
Oh, you know what's really funny? I'll be on my elevator,
so
in my condo, and like people don't respect the rules.
Okay.
So I'll just get in the elevator. Sometimes I'm with a friend and I will start coughing like a madman. And I'll be like, oh shit, I think I'm getting sick. Like I'll just do some shit to torment these people. And like their whole attitude changes.
Right.
At first they're acting like, oh, I don't care. Like sometimes there'll be people that'll be like, haha, like we're not wearing masks. And I literally start coughing and like you can literally see them like get a little shook from that.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. I mean, there's definitely fear, like not to go a little off topic, but there's fear out there now because like and I don't really know anyone personally that's been impacted, but just seeing the numbers, seeing what it is, it's all literally what's on the internet that I'm seeing.
Yeah.
Right. And I think going to flu season, they were saying like these symptoms, like if I tell someone like I have a cold or something, it's like, you know, it was okay to be sick and go to work before. People, you like, if you're a little sick and you don't go to work, like what the fuck, like what's wrong with you?
Like get your ass to work.
Now it's like, you know, I had a work meeting this morning at High Park, and one of my friends, colleagues actually, she was talking about like one of her friends, she's like at the factory that they work at in the operations section, they check everyone's temperature. So some people, what they do is like, you might as well take like a hot coffee, put it against your forehead.
Oh, that's smart.
And when you get your temperature checked, they go, sorry, you got to go home. All right, fine. Fuck it. Like, I can't go to work.
Well, but okay, but they're doing that, like, and you don't have to get checked. Like, you don't have to go.
I mean, you can still get paid. You just don't have to show up to work, right?
Oh, bro, I'm going to do that tomorrow morning. I'm gonna be like, guys, check my temperature.
Yeah. But, like, I think, like, going back to that. So, fitting room, like, I remember, like, the NBA got canceled the same week. Everything was like, boom, 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 right? And I'm like, fuck, NBA is gone. Then it's like, you get the email from work.
Yeah.
Did Health Canada reach out to you guys, or was it?
No, I think it was like directly to the shop, to the shop owners.
Yeah.
And then they just kind of trickled down to us.
Right.
So once they reached out, we have a few friends that work for Health Canada and all this stuff. So they were like advising us throughout.
Okay.
But we got the notification and then shut down. And we were closed for a while, man. We were closed till June 28th.
Yeah.
That was our return date. And like, as much as I wanted to cut from home and like stack some money, like I said earlier, I really just wanted to take a break.
Right.
I wanted to step away. Like for the barbers that take this industry seriously, it's more than just a job and a paycheck. It's an art. It's an art form. And we, like, every haircut you're doing, like, I don't even have to get paid. When I'm doing a sick haircut, when we're talking about like, oh, the color, the contrast, all that stuff, like, I get into it. It's my high. It feels like it's what my purpose is. And I was actually talking to somebody about it today when I was like, I'm kind of getting off topic, but today this guy came in, he was feeling really low. Okay. So I'm like mental health and all this stuff. Like, I'm like, okay, let me just talk to him. Let me make sure everything's cool.
Right.
We start opening up and he wanted to get his beard done and obviously we couldn't do it. So I started working around the mask, kind of finessing it. By the time we finished, the guy's mood was uplifted.
Yeah.
And that's one of the main reasons why I stuck to being a barber.
Right.
I always wanted to be like, I used to have dreams of like rapping and like influencing people like Tupac. Like Tupac's my favorite rapper. Like
Okay.
until the day I die. Like
R.I.P.
he's like, I'll tattoo him like R.I.P. Tupac. He's one of my favorite
I'm
artists.
a Biggie guy.
I know. I'm looking around. I'm like, fuck, man. Like, I don't know if I should even say that. I love Biggie.
I love both of them.
I love both.
Yeah.
Like they're obviously comparable. It's like the Michael Jordan and like LeBron conversation
Of
or
course,
whatever, right? Obviously, two different eras. But when you look at Tupac and Biggie, they're both fucking insane. Like they changed the game. And like there was an East Coast West Coast war over the two of them. Like they were very monumental in hip hop.
Yeah.
But yeah, like wanting to be that and having that influence. Obviously, I'm not a rapper, and I
Can you rap?
I'm not, like I can freestyle. I'm not gonna do that shit right now. And I hate when people say they can and they can't. But like honestly, like I could put together something funny, but it'll take me a while. Just like getting into this podcast.
I can rap too, but I need more than just one of these. I need probably like 6, 7 of these. And
maybe a bottle of tequila, and I'll be the sickest rapper alive. But,
I do a Sunny After Dark podcast that never gets released, so we'll do it on that episode.
Yeah, exactly.
Right
It'll be in your vault, and release it one day if there's any value.
Dude, I have like almost 60 episodes like that. That have are never intended to be released, but it's like when guys come over, we just have a good time. I'm like, hey, let's talk, and we end up talking about some good stuff. But it's like you never want to
of
whatever,
course,
right?
There's some stuff like some line, and I'm notorious for crossing lines that I shouldn't be crossing. So
I think on that topic, vulnerabilities are huge.
Yeah.
I think it's okay to talk about things that are not going well. Like going back to your story, like that client, I think, you have an opportunity where you're sitting there for 60 minutes. You can either cut here for 60 minutes without a conversation.
Yeah.
That's it. And sometimes that's okay if it's like 9 a.m.
Of course, yeah.
But like other days, you end up getting into conversations where like an hour, like we've been in it many times where like normally a 45 minutes to an hour haircut now extends to...
It's like an hour and a half, 2 hours, and I'm like swearing at myself after.
Right? So you guys were shut down for a couple of months. Getting back to it now, you guys, how's that been? How's that transition been?
I feel like I feel like we just got right back into it, man.
Yeah,
like it's either you're cutting or you're not. There were obviously moments. So I am I hate when people come into the shop and they're sick. I'll tell you that straight up.
Okay.
I'll be like, listen, it's okay if I come to work and I'm sick because end of the day you want a haircut. But if you're fucking sick and you get me sick and I get sick easily. Don't fucking do that.
Right.
So I love the whole mask thing. So to me, it's like as much as I hate wearing it in the shop 8 hours every single day, I like it for the protection. Like I'm protecting other people. Like they're coming in with their mask on. It's protecting me. So I feel like that was the biggest adjustment. Obviously, like our appointments have changed. So we would be doing like a haircut, half hour, haircut and beard, 45 minutes. Now every appointment's an hour, which is good. It gives me time to sanitize, gives me time to chill, collect myself after like spending all that time with a client. So there were a few adjustments, but honestly, like
I think in your area though, like business wise, I think you guys are prime when it comes to being ready for this kind of situation.
Yeah.
Because it's only one-on-one.
Yeah.
Right. So you can sanitize in between. You're not a business where you rely on volume in terms of in terms of multiple footprints at the same time.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So that's why you can thrive in a way you can make it totally like COVID friendly. But it also was a reminder to think about some of the bad habits we had before.
Yeah.
Like, simple things. Like I always sanitize my hands when I come in, and every time I take my little Perel. By the way, they probably make a killing right now.
Yeah, they're killing it right now. Holy shit.
Well, door handles, things like that. Like your phone, for example, right?
Yeah.
Like I think it's made us a little bit more health conscious.
100%.
And phobia a little bit too, like COVID, phobic a little bit in terms of today I was showing pictures to my group at my team meeting and I sent my phone around, and as I was sending it around, it occurred to me, I'm like, fuck,
like what if somebody has COVID?
No, they were probably thinking so at the end of it, yo, I made sure I sent my Perel bottle, and everyone sanitized their hands too.
That's smart.
But I check myself sometimes,
You have
so now fast forward, candles.
Yes.
How did you, I look at barbering as a form of art. It's a craft. Yeah, getting that fade to blending your beard with the fade. It's not easy.
No, it's
right.
Definitely
And
isn't.
Some people have easy hair that they can manage.
Yeah.
Some others, like myself, sometimes might have hard that creates a little bit of work.
At you. Yeah, I was gonna say.
When did that thought occur to you? Because I'm big on candles as well.
Okay, yeah,
that's what that smell was when you came in.
On the website,
we got 100%, 1289 Essentials, putting the plug in right there.
Exactly.
where did that first thought, like, what was that moment that occurred when you're like, yeah, candles, maybe that's what I'll do?
A lot of people lately have been crediting me, and they're saying like, man, like you've always been like an entrepreneur. You have that spirit. You always think about like what's next, how to develop this, whatnot. Like I would never think that. I just feel like I'm a barber. I'm doing my thing, and then things are falling into place.
Right.
I think back now, and now I think back about the whole brand and like Isaac and the candles. It all started with a thought. I was behind the chair. I was cutting. I wasn't as skilled as I am today as a barber. So I was thinking, I was like, dude, like if I'm gonna do this for like 30 years, like I'm gonna fall apart.
Right.
How am I gonna do this? So obviously, thinking like a businessman, I was like, what can I do next? What could I do that actually coincides with cutting hair?
Right.
So it all started out as, how can I make more money? And now coming into gratitude and like thinking about influencing and helping people, being a part of people's lives.
Right.
I was like, okay, I want to start a brand. I want to do something that's a little bit more personal, has its personal touch, like a Danny touch on it, but can speak volumes. So originally it was beard oils. I started with beard oils. So I'm thinking like a barber. I'm like, okay, fuck it. You're going to come get a haircut. I'm going to sell you a beard oil.
Yeah.
Cool.
By the way, shout out to his beard oil. I have black amber.
Oh, okay, yes. That's one of the main scents.
It's dope, man.
Yeah,
it's dope. I need to re-up on that, actually.
I appreciate you saying that. Yeah, I'm actually working on launching black amber again, because all I've been doing is Oud 89, which is kind of like my candles top sellers.
Right.
So I made that into a beard oil, and like, I don't want to say this to too many people, but I'm doing a cologne eventually, so it might be a Oud 89.
So I'm not exaggerating, guys. Like, listen, I'm big on cologne and all that. Like, so I have a Tom Ford beard oil. Okay. I think you saw.
Yeah.
It's like it's like a thin bottle,
yeah,
right?
It's like a thin vial.
And I think aesthetics is everything. Like first of all, your bottle. I feel quality is so much better.
Dude, like you want to talk about making money and stuff. That is not a product that's gonna make me money at the moment. Yeah. It's because I wanted quality. I wanted you to grab this, and a lot of people are like, oh shit, it smells like Tom Ford, or oh my god, like wow, it feels so good. That was essentially what I wanted. I just wanted you to experience it and enjoy it. Right. So I'm making products the way I want to feel when I purchase them. Right. So I have favorites. Tom Ford. I love Tom Ford. I love their candles. There's other like Le Labo. That's a lot. I get a lot of my inspiration from them. Okay. And like going from purchasing the product in the store, getting that experience, bringing it home and unboxing it, there's a connection there. Right. And that's exactly what I'm focusing on. Every product that I make, it's not about what I can make off of it. It's what I can make you feel after purchasing it. Right. You know what I mean? So I love the feedback that you
give me. Absolutely. Like that's why like you're here, because I'm all for supporting Toronto entrepreneurs. I'm all for like people that are hustling from the ground up, like going into a store like Holt and grabbing a set of candles from there is cool. Yeah, 100%. But like building your own product from scratch, it's a different story. So candles, did you go to school? Did you take a course? How did you teach yourself, man?
Dude, honestly, trial and error. It was all trial and error. I started with the beard oils.
By the way, I'm gonna ask you. You don't have to give away your secret ingredients.
No, there's no.
I think it's more so a recipe for success.
Yes.
For people out there that are struggling in terms of like, well, I have an idea. How do I execute?
Honestly, and it's essentially executing. And then I wrote this quote on Instagram today. I gotta read it to you. It says. Hold on, sorry. I just gotta grab this shit because I don't remember the quote. I'd be lying if I did.
I think I saw your post. It was about today's. It was you with the number of like all these boxes.
Yeah. I was kind of like, it looked like a hot mess, but I was like, you know what? I need people to see like shit isn't always pretty. Yeah. Like you could sit there, take photos, stage it, but like, bro, real life is not like that, and it's a mess, and you just gotta work through the mess and kind of just find the beauty in it.
Yeah.
You know
I think people always see the end product.
Yeah.
But what I like to see as a customer and as a client, I want to see the journey.
And that's like what I'm trying to like. I'm trying to do it in a non-annoying way. I don't want to be up in your face and up in your shit and like telling you, oh, like I do this. Yeah. It's not about that. It's not like I'm not stunting. It's nothing to do with that. It's more just I want people to be able to like, bro. It's all about inspiration. Mm-hmm. Like we were talking about earlier. I get different clients. I live through them. Right. I experience it through them. I want to get to know your stories. I want to know why Sonny went from the bank, across the street or whatever, to now like this guy's doing this as like a passion project.
Right.
It like those are the things that I find value in.
Right.
You know,
right.
so I like, that's exactly, if you want to call it my marketing plan, it's really to make you feel like you're a part of my journey.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So then the quote that I was referencing is like, failure is success in progress.
Right.
And that's like my formula to whatever success you want to call this. Like, this is like a small brand. Like, it's been going on for a few years now. This is the year I put a lot of like real effort into it. Like, I actually got somebody to help me out.
Okay.
She's been brainstorming, giving me like really good marketing ideas, what to shoot, what products to put out, what to call them. So literally the whole story behind the candles, it was just trial and error, like trying different recipes. That's like any candle maker would tell you. It's like, listen, like choose the wax you want, the base you want,
Right.
and then work with that and
Right.
find out what works for you.
Yeah.
And I've literally developed my formula for just the wax, and every scent that goes into my formula is basically a perfume accord, let's just say,
Okay.
that I've created.
Right. Right.
And yeah, it was just one day at a time, man. One day at a time, and just staying positive.
That's dope, man. So, so the name, 1289 Essentials.
Yeah.
What does that mean? How did you come up with the branding?
So like the
Isaac is your last name?
Yeah. So like Isaac is like Ishac, it's a derivative, whatever.
Right.
So I just thought like, any of these successful brands like
Yeah.
Mercedes, all these brands that you hear, like it all came from someone's name.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, you know what better way to like honor my name and create my legacy than starting a brand called Isaac.
Yeah.
So and, like I called it Isaac. Obviously, if you like look at the numbers, so Isaac number 1289 is the business name.
Okay.
1289 stands for December 89. So kind of like the year I was born.
Yeah.
So
89. I'm 89 too.
89, yeah. So and yeah, man, like that's how I put it together. And then 1289 Essentials, it was kind of just, I wanted people to understand like these are the things that like these scents that I've created, I think are essentials you need to have.
Right.
So whichever scent or profile that you fuck with,
Okay.
that's kind of what you need in your space.
Right.
And like whatever that space is, it could just be for your house. Like you just want to create a vibe, or your studio, or
Right.
during your podcast.
Yeah.
I came empty-handed. I should have actually brought you a
No,
candle. Now I feel like an asshole. I feel like I'm gonna shake you a candle.
Next time I see you.
I'm getting you a candle. Yeah.
But what's your favorite? So you came out with 8 to 9. Is it 8?
I have 8 cents now.
8
yeah,
cents.
8
What's your
cents.
favorite? What's your favorite scent?
Dude, that's like asking a parent, like, who's your favorite child?
Oh,
Like,
yeah, that's
you're
a good
putting
way
me
to
on
put
the
it.
spot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Holy
What
shit.
I personally, I think I saw Black Amber again, right?
Yeah,
Or-
Black Amber is fire. Black
Okay,
Amber's fire.
yeah.
But I'm Middle Eastern, man, and like if
Yeah.
you go to Dubai, you're walking down the street, everything's oud.
Right.
So to me, Oud 89, and the reason why I fuck with Oud 89 so much
Okay.
is this was one of those things that restarted my passion for the brand. And
Okay.
I was like stressed out, bro. I had nothing. I was looking around. I'm like, bro, I'm shit at making candles. I'm slacking in my barber career. I'm going through personal issues. Like, fuck this shit. I'm done.
Yeah.
So one night I go to bed and I was highly contemplating just stopping this. I'm like, what's the point? Like, what the fuck is the point of continuing?
Yeah.
So like I'm like in like a mid sleep. Like I'm not fully asleep, but like I'm like trying to get there. I'm
You're tossing and turning. Yeah.
And something clicks, and it was based on Oud 89. And I literally I don't know if God was I don't know what the hell was talking to
Does
me.
oud mean camel?
No, oud is like another word for agarwood.
Agarwood.
So
okay,
agarwood
okay,
is
okay.
like a tree that. So basically, it's a specific tree, and when it's actually dying, it releases, or whatever the word is, it's dying. Let's just say.
Yeah.
It releases a resin, and that resin is collected.
Okay.
And that's oud
Nice.
or agarwood. whatever.
Interesting. Yeah.
From the agarwood tree.
Right.
Right. So something clicked in, and I got up at like 3-4 in the morning, and I
Okay.
ran to my office, and I was like, yo, I'm putting this thing together. I start piecing the whole thing together. So I'm building a perfume now. So I have a triangle. I'm working on top, mid, and base.
Right.
So I'm like putting all these things together. It's almost like a math equation.
Yeah.
And again, when you make the scent in concentrate, it's kind of hard to tell.
Okay.
So dude, this is 4 in the morning. I have work in like 5 hours.
Right.
So and I'm up.
So you're doing this at home?
I'm doing this at home.
Okay.
I'm mixing it together. I'm over my stovetop, and I have the commercial equipment that I do use.
Right.
At this point, when I'm like trial and erroring and like creating like a small sample, I'll obviously just do it over my kitchen counter.
Yeah.
And that's easy. So I was doing that, and dude, like I let it cure, gave it 2 days, and I burned it, and I was like, holy fuck, this is it.
This is it.
This is it.
Yeah.
And that idea, that formula, how I structured it has allowed me to retouch other scents that I made and create the new scents that I launched.
Right.
And it's just evolved my game.
Yeah.
It's evolved the game. Like I really think like this shit is.
It's again. I think branding is everything. I think someone made a comment. The way you release your brand, you made it seem like an album, the back of an album.
Oh yeah.
Right? It's smart. It captures people because people want to say, like one of the questions you're gonna get always is, well, how do you set yourself apart, Danny?
Yeah.
From candles that you can get from
anyone else.
From like Home Sense, you walk in there, you know what I mean? I think that that's a question. Like, how would you answer that?
So, like even to just touch on like the album, like bro, hip hop, music, all this shit, right? This is all a piece of me and what I think. Like, I want women to buy my products,
right?
So I'm creating products that, to go into fashion very quickly. Fashion's changed. Like women are like buying suits now.
Yeah.
Women are like they're loving like masculine scents. So
baggy clothes,
all this shit. So like scents can now be unisex. You know what I mean? There's no difference really. Like men are wearing floral while women are wearing musky. Like it's all over the place.
So true.
So when I'm piecing this together, obviously I love that women's support. I keep wanting to support, and I'm gonna create things geared to them.
Right.
But I wanted not just a guy to buy it, but like a fucking hip hop head to be like, yo, like that shit looks like fucking like that's an album, and that's why I did it the way I did it. I'm like, this is like a hip hop album. This is like the time I can actually be a rapper and drop something.
Right.
So what separates me is, dude, like a barber starting a product line. Eventually my goal will be to be a cosmetic line. Okay. And dude, everything I'm doing is formulated from myself. Right. So like, fuck, maybe I'll give you a sample one day and be like, Sonny, try this shit and your hair falls off. Like, fuck, don't hold me liable.
Listen, I'm all for it, man. You know? I'm all for those trial and errors and test. I'll be the guinea pig.
Exactly. And like in a world now, like there's a lot of like private labeling. There's a lot of people selling the same shit. And like the thing that I find separates, obviously, the branding, the style of how I launch it and show it to the world. Yeah. But it's also like the care that I put into it. I truly want to create things that, bro, it's not going to harm you from using it. Right. And at the end of the day, one way or another, I will showcase that. Yeah, and I will always stay true to it. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I don't even want to go down a marketing hole. Like, I just, like, yo, you're going to buy it? You want to support it? Thank you. You don't? I'm not going to try to convince you in any other way, but... like me. Yeah, I think that's what it is. Like I was asking that more generally. Like for me, I think I have an answer to that is like supporting like local grassroots, started from the bottom kind of thing. Like we see candles, this is more of a representation of the hustle. Yeah. And it's more of a reflection and hopefully an inspiration for people out there that anybody can do this. You're doing this in the comfort of your own kitchen. It's crazy. Right? It's crazy. And like if someone were to ask me like how are candles made? I'd be like, I don't know, like in a factory, things like that. And eventually you're gonna get there. I'm gonna have you again in a year from now and I'll be like, Danny, what would you do differently if you can go back a year? And that's how you know you've grown, right? That's what personal growth is, business growth is. Today now, like with the candle business, today was your launch. Today was essentially my launch, The hard launch. How'd it go? It went really well, bro. Yeah. It's funny because I'm using Shopify as like my storefront. Okay. And obviously for the last little while, I've been like hustling candles on the side. So throughout COVID, people are hitting me up, bro. I was like giving like tow truck drivers like bags of like candles, and it looked like I'm fucking selling drugs. I'm pushing candles. Yeah. It's the softest shit you'll ever hear. Candle poppy, literally. So, like. Obviously my store is irrelevant. I just have it there. Yeah. So today, like if you see the chart, it's like a stock that gets so much hype where like it just skyrocketed. Right. And I couldn't believe it. Honestly, God, like the nerves that I was talking about earlier today, just by hitting live to seeing sales right at 12 o'clock. So people that I knew, people that I didn't know, all these people went, and I'm 50% or more sold out of product. Yeah. And that's crazy. And this is day one. That's day one. Right. That's day one. Yeah, I think that it's a beauty because it's like, you get all the support from people. Yeah, that's like the main part. Which is great. I think, a lot of people say that Toronto's screwface capital. It's not. And, it's not. At the surface level, I guess it depends. Like music-wise, I know a lot of my musician friends and rappers always say like it's a cutthroat industry, and it can be, but you gotta just be authentic and real to yourself at the end of the day. 100%. Right. I think that people try to follow other people's footprints 1,000%. A lot, and it's very easy to do that because like, oh well, he did it, maybe I can do it.
But sometimes you got to do trial and error to figure out, well, what can I do different?
You
What
gotta
can
find what works for you.
Yeah, I'm sure like when you're 22, you would never have thought you were gonna do candles today.
I can't like
Right.
that would have never crossed my mind.
Yeah.
And I thought like in a whole lifetime, oh my god, like at 22 years old, I would have laughed at myself.
And like now
honestly.
it's not even candles. Like you're already thinking, well, I'm gonna create a cosmetic line, and
1,000%.
and that's the plan. That's the game plan, and that's what's gonna happen. You got to manifest that
100%.
energy. You know, keep it going. And it's good to like this podcast, for example. Like when I started, I'm like, fuck, who's gonna listen to me, right?
I gotta jump in there because I've been meaning to say, because we've been
Yeah.
talking about all the stuff that's going on in my life, and like, bro, and I like this is genuinely coming from my heart. I can't like I'm so amazed by what you've accomplished.
I appreciate that.
This
brother.
is crazy. I remember us sitting here before you had any fucking graphics made, before anything. Like this is why I love being a barber. I really get, like I said, I live through people.
Yeah.
And hearing you talking about this shit, I'm just like, bro, this guy's like this. Just another brown guy. Like, what the fuck is he gonna talk about? What's gonna happen? That's racist. Man. Maybe you just. Cut
No, it's
that
true
out.
though. It's true. No, it's
Yeah, fucking so racist. That's what I cross lines. But end of the day, I'm blown away by the fact that like you had an idea and you just put it out there.
yeah.
And this is intimidating as fuck. Like selling a product online is so intimidating to me, but your voice, talking, your
Yeah.
opinion,
Yeah.
your thoughts, that's like you're opening up a whole nother fucking
It's
book
true.
of things.
Yeah.
So I gotta commend you on that,
Bro, I
man.
appreciate that, man. Respect.
No,
Like, cheers to that.
because this is amazing.
I appreciate that, man.
No, serious.
You know, we've been talking. I remember that. I remember talking about the idea. I'm like, hey, it's always sunny in the six. I want to create a
Yeah.
platform where it's kind of like Joe Rogan, where I get to meet people from all walks of life.
Yeah.
People from all industries, just have conversations about the city, about their lives, and try to learn from it, right?
Yeah.
When I started, my intent was never for listeners. It was like for me. And even till today, I don't care if I have
love that.
1,000 listeners per episode or 3,000 or
Yeah.
2. I'm going to ask questions and I'm going to pick your brain based on things I want to know. You know what I
1,000%.
mean?
And I love that.
And I think over time I've started incorporating like questions from like, you know, people that follow me and whatnot.
Yeah.
But I wanted to get to know like, man, this candle business is like the entrepreneurship behind it
Yeah.
and doing it. Especially in today's day and age, we're talking about, we're in the middle of fucking COVID 2020,
Bro.
right? Like knock on wood, we don't have COVID 2021 or some mutation happening.
Oh my god!
All these
I saw this
conspiracy.
trailer. Shit, Songbird. You gotta watch it. You wanna fuck up your life?
Yeah?
Watch the
What's it
trailer
called?
for Songbird,
Okay.
bro.
What's it about?
Dude, it's literally our fear, and it's basically in like 250 weeks of isolation. Okay,
Yeah.
so like there's like a narrator, and they're like talking. They're like, oh, like a news reporter, and they're like,
Right.
yeah, like this is like week 252 of isolation. And you see this guy on a fucking Peloton just fucking exercising in his house, and then like very long story short,
Yeah.
basically on the news broadcast it says like COVID 23. And then it's like saying, oh, like COVID now is multiplying, now it's attacking the brain, stay inside. Then
Right.
it shows like one of the main characters, he has a band on his arm or his wrist,
Okay.
and he's basically immune to it. So he's allowed to live outside,
Right.
but his girlfriend's locked in her house
Right.
on this like concentration camp. And if
Is this a movie or
well,
is
this is a movie, a Michael Bay movie that's getting like destroyed online because they're saying like, why are you like trying to make money off people's fears?
Right.
And, like honestly, just watch the trailer. 'cause
I'm gonna watch this. It's called Songbird.
Songbird, I think. Yeah.
A friend of mine actually relayed a forward on WhatsApp,
Yeah.
and I checked him right away because it was like some Dr. Boshi, Samir Boshi or something like that. He's talking about, he's on air, and this guy's like, okay, well, there is a document that got released and leaked from the Liberal caucus. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm also saying this for pure entertainment.
Yeah,
I'm not a
okay.
conspiracy theorist.
Yeah.
This is not,
You
so
gotta
just
let
an
everybody
FYI.
know, yeah.
I'm just sharing this for entertainment purposes. But the guy was like, man, apparently there's going to be, we're in a second wave, but there's going to be a third wave, another lockdown.
God.
It's going to be more strict. There's going to be a mutation in COVID-19. It's going to be like COVID 2021. And then when the vaccine comes along, which is going to be the end of the year of next year, they're developing something called the Canada Health Pass,
Okay.
where you have to get the vaccine to get this pass.
Oh my
And with
God.
this pass is what's going to allow you to get into like certain places. You don't have to socially distance. You have to wear a mask and whatnot. And I'm like, it's pretty
Scary.
fucked up. I mean, I can see that happening, right?
Okay, but hold
But-
on. Like now you're fucking me up right now. So like this is something that was released by the government or
So
like,
this is a doctor talking about a document that got released. So I'm listening to this. I'm like, this is entertaining. It's 8 minutes.
Yeah.
And then I'm just going high level. That was one thing. He talked about like, there's intercity travel is going to be banned.
Oh my god,
Right.
this is fucked.
So my boy's sharing. Everyone's like, "Oh, that's fucked up." Da, da, da. I did a quick Google search of this
Yeah.
guy, and it's like famous American conspiracy theorist.
Yeah. Oh
You got to
my
check
God.
yourself when it comes to information, right?
100%.
You know, a lot of us rely on information from memes.
Yeah, which is the
You see something on
stupidest
Six
shit.
Bucks, for
Yeah.
example, you're like, "Oh shit, did you hear about this?"
Yeah.
Be like, "Yo, look at the source." Have you been following the elections?
Nah, man. Honest to God, like I just can't. It's a shit show. I'm
Yeah.
like terrified for my family in the States, my friends in the States.
Do you have a lot of family?
I have a lot of family
Yeah.
all over, like
Okay.
San Diego, Michigan.
What are they saying? Like, have you been keeping in touch with them, or?
I haven't really been able to. Yeah, no, we haven't really got in touch. But prior to that, they were obviously just like on the Joe Biden wave, and they were always just like, "Man, we're gonna vote for him." Like, screw Trump.
Right.
But that's pretty much the conversation. I don't really know the morale in the States. Like, I don't know
Right.
what's going on.
Yeah.
I gotta catch up with them. But again, they're almost just like, bro, like, we just don't care.
Yeah, I
This
mean,
is
like
bad.
I've been following as much as I possibly can, as much as I possibly can understand.
Yes.
CNN, Anderson Cooper,
Yeah.
the guy has been on like live television for 3 days straight.
Dude, this
It
guy's
is just
insane.
pointing at a map,
Yeah.
back and forth. These are the red states. These are the blue states. Biden's winning here. Trump's
Bro,
winning
he
here.
should run for president. Honest to God.
Dude, the man didn't change.
Yeah,
The man, like,
that's
I went to bed and I woke up the next morning and he's still on CNN. And I'm like, kudos to him and King.
Seriously.
And even the election, like, there's like 5 different scores on the map.
Yeah.
You're like, what the fuck?
Like, bro,
Who's winning?
yeah.
Wait, it looks like Biden's winning over here, but why are all the states red, right?
It just doesn't make sense.
it's
It doesn't
confusing,
make sense.
yeah.
And then now you want to talk about conspiracies. You have all these people now coming out taking videos of like people collecting ballots and stuff like that. Like
Yeah.
it's just it's overwhelming. In a time like this is the last thing I needed. Honestly,
It's really the most 2020 thing that can possibly happen.
Honestly.
You know, you have a guy like Trump that refuses to leave office now.
Yeah.
He's like, fuck you guys.
Yeah, he does not. He's not leaving. This guy's not going to make it easy.
It's not.
Yeah.
I mean, it's entertaining for us north of the border, but I can
100%.
only imagine if you're in the States, it's like, damn,
You're
like
nervous
it's
as
civil
hell.
unrest, right?
Yeah, your whole life is like you're just waiting for an answer.
Right.
And like just to like touch on something, I was watching TikTok. I saw a TikTok story on my page, and
It's okay, Danny. We know you have a TikTok
I
account
do.
and you're
I have
pretty
a ghost
active on
account.
it.
I have a ghost account. And I actually follow this guy. He's like Mufasa something. He's fucking hilarious.
Right.
He's this African guy.
Okay.
And he always like is in the car and his boy tries to get him to dance. So they play on like really dope old school tracks and he gets out and like just fucking like throws it down. You know what I mean?
I think everyone's seen that.
Yeah.
It's like he's literally the car is like it's like the weekend mood.
Yeah,
I've seen that.
exactly.
I've seen
I
that.
love
yeah.
that. I love that. But I saw this TikTok and it was basically the Simpsons predictions.
Okay.
And bro, it was like 2021. No, sorry, it was like 2020 elections, Trump, and then it goes into January 2021, and Homer Simpson's like sitting on his roof with his gun, and like it's just a war torn place.
Right,
So
right.
it's just crazy because this motherfucker, whoever that like produced the Simpsons,
I mean, Simpsons have been right
like on point with
for
everything.
almost. It's like it's even Trump. There was an episode from a decade ago, I think,
Yeah,
with
man.
Trump being president.
Yeah, I think this episode tied in, and I was just like, bro, this guy knows, man. He
Yeah,
knows
yeah.
something, and he's from Canada. Somebody was telling me he's from Toronto.
Okay.
Like
But
the
this
producer.
this guy,
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm gonna go find him. I'm gonna be like, what's popping, man?
I'm
You
gonna
gotta
reach
let
out
me
and
know.
get him on the podcast, bro.
You really should. Yeah, I'd be like, well, how did you come up with these episodes?
Yeah.
Seriously.
I always think about that. Like I've been watching quite a bit of Netflix, and I've been getting into a lot of these like BoJack Horseman and. Have you heard of that show or?
No, actually, I haven't.
So BoJack Horseman, it's literally the most. It looks stupid. It's like these cartoon characters
Okay.
that are like different animals,
Okay.
but they touch on issues related to society today.
Oh wow.
Like BoJack Horseman is he's a drug addict, does cocaine and all. He's like an drug addict. He's in Hollywood. He's an actor,
Oh, wow.
and he's going through life and he's trying to figure out the meaning of life, and what it is. Right, hella entertaining.
I'm gonna
And-
take a look.
But I think about when you're a writer, what are some of what are you on or what do you think about to come
come up with
across
this
come
shit.
up with this shit? I would love to
Seriously.
have a profession and job where I could just sit there and just write and do things. And that's
Yeah.
why when you're your own entrepreneur and when you can mix being an entrepreneur with creativity,
It's
you can do whatever you want. Right?
sky's the limit.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's literally your world. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I have something called a sunshine round. I do this with all my guests.
Okay.
What it is it's a speed round pretty much. Ask you a series of questions, try to answer them as quick as you possibly can.
Fuck.
I'll try to keep it short, it won't be too long,
Yeah.
but trying to segue a little bit into getting to know you a little bit personally as well.
For sure.
You down?
Yeah, I'm down.
Let's do it. Okay. All right, man. Danny, if you could have one superpower, what superpower would it be and why?
Holy fuck, man! I'd want to fly.
You wanna-
And I'd want to fly because I just honestly getting on a plane, getting that vibe, seeing everything from bird's eye view, it's
Yeah.
electrifying.
Gotcha. If you
Yeah.
could star in your own movie,
Star in my
what
movie.
genre do you think that movie would be?
Oh my god. Fuck. 1930s.
Like a
1930s. What's
like Grease era?
No, hold on. I gotta think about this.
Like would it be a comedy? Would it be a horror movie?
No,
Would
it'd be like a gangster film. It would be
Okay.
a gangster film for
Like
sure.
Gangs in New York?
Obviously, yeah, like something like Gangs in New York. But I'm also thinking of it's Tom Hardy stars in it.
From London, right? Like twins?
No, not
Fuck.
twins. Fuck,
There's like two of
the Prohibition. It was during the Prohibition. Yeah, you gotta
Like
Google that.
Peaky Blinders is a good representation.
It's kind of a good representation, but it's like in
Tom
America
Brady,
and
shit.
it's
I'm gonna check right now.
yeah.
Who was it?
Prohibition. Lawless.
Lawless. I haven't seen that.
So it was in 1931. Yeah, and it was brothers, and they were just basically selling moonshine. I think it was moonshine.
What's your favorite place to eat in Toronto?
Favorite place to eat? Oh man, you're putting me on the spot because I don't even come down here often.
Doesn't even have to be in Toronto, like Mississauga. What's your favorite place to eat? Period.
Favorite place to eat? Hold on, I gotta think about this. I love food, but I've been on the diet for so long. Honestly, I have to say Suko Thai, man.
Suko Thai?
Yeah.
Oh,
honestly,
man.
hands down.
Shout out to the Thai food. I had Thai food last night, bro. There's a place actually across the street, really
What is it
good.
called?
Sabai Sabai.
Oh, I've heard of that.
Yeah,
I've tried it.
man, so good, so good. I had that yesterday. If you were stuck in an island and you had all your essentials, so your
Okay.
water, food, and whatnot, what are the two things that you would bring with you outside of
Wow.
your essentials? What
Outside
are
of
two
my
things that you would need?
essentials.
Yeah.
Bro, you're asking me some serious questions. Shit. Like honestly, okay, I'd bring a book, obviously.
Okay.
But that would be like with my essentials. So
Yeah.
like a book, and
Would you bring your dog?
you know, it's sad to say I don't have my dog anymore.
Oh, you
but
don't?
Yeah,
Oh, okay,
yeah,
okay,
I don't.
okay.
But I would bring my dog.
Yeah,
That's a good one. Yeah, I'd be there with my dog.
Okay. What's the one thing that annoys you the most?
Oh fuck! I'm gonna say this. A lot of people are gonna feel a type of way, but chewing when like you're eating and you make a lot of noise chewing,
Okay.
that's the one thing I just cringe, bro.
So don't chew gum, guys, when you're getting your hair cut.
Oh, that's the worst. That's the worst.
What's your favorite alcoholic beverage?
I think I would just go with old fashioned.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
If it was the end of the world right now and
Yeah.
it got announced, it's a complete lockdown,
Yeah.
what's the first thing you would do?
Honestly, man, I'd have to just call my family.
Yeah?
I just call like my parents. I just tell them thank you for everything, and that's it.
Okay. What's your favorite song of all time?
Ooh, bro, you're asking. That's a question.
Let me rephrase that. You're on that same island. You
Okay.
found an iPod. And on
Yeah.
that iPod, there's only one album. What album would you want to be
Okay,
on that?
easily answer Tupac's greatest hits. Done deal. That's like a cheat code right there. Because I could get a piece of all his albums. You know what I mean?
Yeah, okay, cool,
You're
cool,
talking
cool.
to an entrepreneur, man. I was thinking outside.
that's fair. Are you more of a morning person or a night person?
I would say I'm more of a night person. I'm always working late, like staying up late, watching movies, whatever. But I'm working on getting up in the morning, and I'm really enjoying it. I love
Okay.
the idea of like waking up in the morning and being ahead of everybody.
Right.
Mhm.
That's so important, man.
It
I think
really
having
is.
a solid morning routine is so crucial to set your day up. Like,
It makes the day.
I don't think I know anybody that be like, oh, I'll wake up late
Yeah.
and I get my day. You know what I mean? Like, it's always
impossible.
like, I always find, I think one book that we talked about was the
Yeah.
5 a.m. Club.
Yeah.
And then there's another one, The Monkey Who Sold His Ferrari. You told me about that.
The monk who sold his Ferrari.
The Monk,
That-
sorry, not
yeah,
Monkey,
yeah,
sorry,
yeah.
Monk, yeah.
That's that's like a life-changing book, bro.
Well, my next question is,
Yeah.
what's your favorite book?
Oh my god, dude, you're hitting me with some questions.
You're on that island. You said you would take a book with you. What would that book be? Like, what would that book be?
Shit. Honest. You know what, man? No, I want to give you a good one for this. Oh god. I would have to say The Monk Who Sold His Ferrari. Man.
Really? So I haven't read that, man.
You really have to.
Yeah.
It's some people will be like, what the fuck, why? It's for me, it gave me much more value. I like we've talked about earlier. I love, like, I'm always thinking about what's next, how to make money, how to grow,
Right,
like keep
right.
going. And this book talks about slowing down and putting other priorities first,
Right.
like health, taking care of like mental health,
Right.
taking care of friends, family, appreciating what you have in front of you. So
Right.
that's like really, yeah, like I'm down that, like that book is a good read, man.
For all
It's a
my
good read.
bookworms out there, definitely look into that because I want to. That's one of the books. Once I finish *Sapiens*, I'm almost done.
Okay, yeah.
Been reading that fucking book
That's
forever.
amazing.
It's I've been actually like going on this note for asking my last question because we're gonna segue into a conversation. But I always look into how to read faster, and something I came across the other day. It's like, a very interesting tip is we have like our voice in our head, right?
Yeah.
When I read, I tend to read with that voice.
Yeah.
And so technically speaking, you can only read as fast as you speak.
Oh,
And that's what slows you down. So
That's
if you don't read with that voice, and if you just start picking up words, like if you see a sentence, you don't really need to know words like duh,
Yeah.
your mind already knows that.
Yeah.
You actually, that's how you speed read.
Oh, that's
And I
crazy.
started doing that, and it makes a huge difference. So don't read with that voice in your head.
So don't read with a voice in your head. Just kind of like.
Just read. Yeah, get into the habit of reading. Because
Yeah.
like with my new job now, I've been reading a lot of reports and stuff. So I need to be a quick reader.
So
These are like
skim through it.
120-page reports. And I'm like, so this is Seattle.
Yeah, like, yeah.
I like to read my words how I speak because I'm so used to
100%.
podcasting,
Yeah.
right? So last question though,
Yeah.
and we can talk about this. If you could talk to the younger version of Danny, what's your best advice? What would you tell him?
I would tell myself to believe in me a little bit more, like trust myself a little bit more.
Right.
There was always, when I was younger, I always doubted anything and everything. And I was always like second guessing, like pretty much doubting like a lot of decisions, ways I moved. I would pretty much just check myself and I would tell myself, dude, embrace every moment, enjoy the times. Cause like I saw in my early, like 15 to let's say 25, a lot of time flew by. I would have just told myself to live in the moment, appreciate what's in front of me,
Right.
and just don't take anything for granted.
Yeah.
And I think like a lot of people say that shit. It's so cliche, but it's so true.
Yeah, it's so. I think things like be present,
Yeah.
showing gratitude.
Yeah.
If I told that to the 20-year-old me, I'd be like, shut the fuck up. I'm like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? I think at the same time, I'd look at it from an inception point of view because I'm like, for me to give advice to a younger version of me,
Yeah.
I'm only in a position to give advice because I went through the experiences that I went through.
All those years. Exactly.
If I give advice to a younger version of me and he never had the opportunity to go through all the bullshit and the hardship and the struggle,
you'll never understand.
I'd never really
Yeah.
understand.
Yeah.
So, it's interesting because I'm like, I do so many things differently if I was younger, but
1,000%.
I'm also really happy where I am today.
You gotta
I-
like take what you have, like bro. Like we're bred to, like let's just say I give you a new phone, and
Right.
like you weren't 100% fond of it. The more you use it, the more you adapt and you appreciate it, or you'll be like, oh cool, like this, like I like my phone now.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like with our lives, like whatever choices we make, at the end of the day, you have to live with them,
Right.
and you're gonna have to find a way to actually accept and like value them.
Yeah. Yeah.
So when you're that young and you don't know any better, it's kind of hard to differentiate.
Mhm.
I kind of lost my point, man.
No, it's like it's hard to differentiate because like you don't know any better.
You really don't
You
know any
like
better.
you are. It's like, you're entering the real world.
Yeah.
And for you at that time, like going back to the conversation with our parents, the grass is laid for us.
Yeah.
We're like, all right, you know what?
You're entitled. You
I
feel
can
like
do
the
this.
world is yours.
BMO just gave me a $5,000 credit
Yeah.
card. I'm gonna go get some pictures over at Blueberry Hill. Like, and then you just get into a place where you build these bad habits, and and everyone goes through it. I don't think I've ever met someone that sat there and be like, oh, I had a perfect life.
No.
I think that people that have had a perfect life are also the people that are, and don't get me wrong, there's probably people out there, but I'm saying for the most part that are naive. They haven't really experienced what it means to get punched in the face, like metaphorically, right?
I can name a few people.
And so like on that note, like if you could, let's say, what's been your biggest learning lesson in your life outside of, I know gratitude is a big thing, but what's the one thing that you think that people out there that are struggling with their own journeys, what's that advice you would give them to kind of get out of that little kapoo?
People struggling with their own journeys. Like I said, like insecurities, it all stems from inside and within your own mind.
Mhm.
So I would definitely just focus on the betterment of yourself, appreciating, like valuing yourself. Like we live in an age now where like, dude, like filters, all this shit, like just appreciating who you are and what you have to offer.
Right.
So that's like one main thing. And I also, just to kind of like sway from that point, more so, like I was caught up living in my own world. And I didn't realize that while I was living, I was maybe affecting other people in my life, or
Right.
people around me. And I think the biggest lesson I learned was like, dude, you got to actually like step back and focus and see who's around you and like your circle. So
Right.
it even goes to say, like, they always say, like, if you want to be successful, be around successful people.
Yeah.
So kind of choose your friends wisely.
Right.
It kind of works the other way around as well, because you also want to be that friend that people are choosing to help inspire you and grow. So just being a little bit more, like, less selfish, be a little bit more selfless.
Mm-hmm.
And,
Yeah, I think that's right. Like, I think, you're the product of your environment, and you're the product of the people you hang out with. And I think, a lot of times it's like, that's why this podcast is great, because I'm like, I have my core friends. I've known them almost half my life. Now is an opportunity to meet people and learn things from them. And like, what worked for you? What didn't work for you? I think that, like, at the end of the day, like, it's still going to be, our life is just starting.
It's like just the beginning.
It's still a journey out there.
You know what? You just said something that like really caught on to that question you asked, and like that's the thing. I was always in a rush, literally just trying to get from point A to point Z.
Okay.
And bro, what's the beauty in that? What's the beauty in going from like this young kid who has nothing to this successful, whatever you want to be?
Right.
Enjoy the journey.
Yeah.
Spend time. Like I one of my homies checked me, and he stopped me. He's like, Danny, listen, like you're a dope barber. You're getting better really, really quickly. But he's like, what's the point?
Yeah.
He's like, stop and enjoy the process. Fuck up, make your mistakes. Really know what your mistakes are and keep growing.
I love
and I think that like I had to think about that, but that was the most important thing for me. And it was really, really just, again, it all ties into gratitude and like really realizing what's in front of you. But that's like that truly is
right.
what I would tell
if you're not fucking up in life, you're not trying hard enough. You
really
need to fail. I think you really need to put. And I had Jesse here last week. He's the owner of One Academy.
Oh, nice.
Went through his own journey as well. Built a very successful gym.
Oh, it's amazing.
One Academy is one of the biggest gyms.
I've heard of
10,000
it,
square
actually.
foot facility. You got to hit rock bottom sometimes in your own way.
Do.
Where you kind of be like, okay, am I gonna be disgruntled, and is this gonna be my life? Is this it?
You really gotta like fear what's happening in front of you to actually grow. And everybody I know, like I was even thinking about one of my homies, and he's killing it right now. This guy's making money in IT, signing contracts.
Right.
I could think back 5 years ago when we were having this conversation. He was like, "Yo, Danny, man, like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I think I gotta like go into construction. I need to find any way to make money."
Right.
And he kind of like shook that, realized it's not about like when you know it's not about the money, and you actually grind for what you love, dude. Eventually, and it again sounds so crazy, but eventually, things start to fall into place.
Right.
And yeah, you might not all of us are gonna be millionaires. Not all of us are gonna be that successful, but when things start to fall into place, it's beyond rewarding.
Of course. I think the biggest goal, and I look at my life, and I think you agree with this as well, is to be happy.
100%.
Right. And I think I know some really well-off, rich people out there that have money, have a big-ass house, but they're alone.
Yeah.
Like literally alone inside, and like also alone, right? We get so caught up catching the bag and securing the bag that we don't realize that once you got that bag,
What the fuck's
then
the
what?
point?
You know what I mean? Because when you, like, the coffin that you're going to go in, there's only so much room.
Dude, it like literally will fit you, and that's it.
It
gives me that I get claustrophobic just looking at it.
Yeah. So I'm very close with I was very close with my grandparents, and it's always good because it reminds me, like, I want to live a life that when I'm old, I might regret the tangibles. Oh, I should have done this. I could have made more money.
Of course.
But it's the experiences that you're like, oh, at least I did this. Like, I can tell you right now, Danny, like, as much as I made some dumb decisions in my 20s, I loved my 20s. I had the time of my life. 100%. I had like some of my most memorable experiences were in my 20s, but that doesn't mean that I don't want to make memories in my 30s.
Of course,
right? Like,
of course.
Where do you see yourself 10 years from today?
Well, I see myself on that island with a lot of my essentials. That's for sure. I can't do this shit forever. Canada is like the cold is killing me. But like, dude, honestly, I see myself in a happy place.
Yeah.
Like going from 20 to 30, and it's crazy because like the second I turned 30, dude, a light turned on, and like you said, it's that knowledge that you missed in 20s that you've acquired now at 30.
Yeah.
And I was woke. Like, you want to talk about being woke and being present? That's like the moment I was like, holy fuck, like life's real.
Right.
And now decisions I make, conversations I have, the way I move, whatever I do, showing gratitude, not showing gratitude, all those things are amplified, and I pay more attention to them.
Right.
So it's like, by the time I get to 40, I think I just want to be like happy, just relax, not rushing around, and like whether I'm grinding or not, I want to just be at peace.
Right.
And whatever whatever peace looks like, it'll just be like within my craft, and hopefully like successful in my business.
Dude, that's key, man. My girl said that to me the other day as well. I think like the importance is to be at peace.
Yeah.
You know, and to be at peace can mean different things for different people.
Yeah.
I do think, don't get me wrong, financial success is important. Like we live in a world where, unfortunately, I'm sorry, you can't be broke, and you can't be like, you could be happy, but there's a lot of necessities in life, a lot of the experiences where you need money to make it happen.
100%.
I think 30s is now a good time for you to kind of learn from your mistakes.
Exactly.
And, you know, shift the gears a little bit more and kind of be like, okay, by the time I'm 40, I want to be at least financially like stable. I want to be happy. I want to be good. I don't want to be at a point in life where I'm like, I can't be on an island and just like stay there forever long I want.
I can't take a vacation for 2 days. I have to work. Like that kind of shit. Like dude, like that's why you plan, and you just build off that.
Yeah. And the best thing though is like, if you can find a hustle that you enjoy, and that's your hustle. Because like, I'm all for 9 to 5s. I have a 9 to 5, but then also ask yourself, what am I going to do 5 to 10?
Exactly.
And if you're really ambitious, what am I going to do 10 to 6 a.m., right? Like, you know, like we live a life where like, if you can do something that makes you happy. So I have these 3 pillars, like health and fitness. So stay healthy. Secondly is obviously your 9 to 5 to pay your bills. And third is like your creative ambitions.
Creative outlet, man.
Right? Whether it's podcasting, whether it's a side hustle, whether it's something that allows you to express yourself.
Exactly.
Because like, you know, we talk about this often, like when you're in kindergarten, when we're kids, we're given crayons. Freaking used to do all this shit. Yeah. And then we get so suffocated as we get older, and like we don't have that creative whiteboard anymore. But you actually do. You know?
Like life, like I'm trying to live life as if I'm that kid in kindergarten. Like some of dude, I was cutting my nephew and my niece.
Okay.
And they wouldn't shut the hell up. I'm cutting him, and the guy just keeps talking. Yeah. And coming up with these crazy ideas, and like he's saying things like, Danny, let's come up with marketing strategies, and how are we gonna scale the business? I'm like, okay, that tripped me the fuck out.
Yeah.
But it was the little ideas. He was talking about creating a candle, like a pillar candle in the shape of like a dinosaur with the wick sticking out of its mouth. And like, there's this guy, like, I seen his shit on Instagram. It's pretty dope. He makes like sneakers out of like candled sneakers. So it's like a Jordan 1, and it's a pillar candle that you burn.
Cool,
it's
bro.
fucking insane.
Yeah.
So people are thinking like that. And like my little nephew, who's like 8 years old, is like talking about this dinosaur, which that thing could happen. That would be dope if you could figure out the logistics in it. Yeah. So it's like, it's like they always say tap into your inner kid, like your inner child.
Right.
That's truly what I think my thoughts are. Like, I know it sounds crazy, but like, or I try to like tap into that and obviously put my 30 years of experience into it. Right. But it's like, you can't lose the sight of this kid that thinks the sky's the limit.
Yeah. Inner child, like, you know, when I was a kid, I wanted to be an astronaut. Yeah. You know, you would draw planets. I was so fascinated by space. Yeah. And I think you need to always have a level of curiosity. 100%. You know, and I think that, you know, that's how you level up. You know, going back to your iPhone analogy, you went from iPhone 3s to actually iPods. Like remember the iPods when they came out? And today, like, we have an iPhone 12 Pro that's coming out, but just like that, you need to update your software, which is yourself. Exactly. You don't have to wait for a resolution to update that software. Update it every day you wake up. Update it every month. Go at your own pace. Exactly. But just keep leveling up and update it. Whether it's going for a walk, going for a run, talking to somebody, getting inspired, just keep updating.
And that's what life's about, man. Like literally everything we just talked about, like from gratitude to health to like business. Like you just gotta constantly stay relevant.
Right.
With the things that you want to do.
Yeah.
And I think that's like the ultimate happiness.
Exactly.
You know, if you can wake up and go for a run, and then you could chill and do a podcast with your boys or with your barber,
why not?
Whatever.
Yeah.
Why not?
Why not?
You know what I mean?
Exactly. I think, and that's what it is. And I think, I hope this podcast inspires people in Toronto. Is there any shout outs you want to give out?
Obviously, like to the Fitting Room family. Obviously to Isaac 1289.
Yeah.
Obviously to you, Sunny in the 6, and then like just that's it, man.
Yeah.
That's it.
Any last words? Any parting words?
Honestly,
I told you, man. We are 90 minutes.
That's
Does
crazy.
it feel like
Dude,
90?
It feels like I haven't even like this is the first time in years that I haven't like touched my phone to check the time.
Yeah.
I swear to God.
Yeah.
And it was like fully enjoyable. Like
And that's what it is. Like, I mean, not to say to cut you short. Like,
No.
it's great because I think that, dude, I can't, even when I was with my guy friends in my 20s, or even like, I can have better conversations with them and talk to them. Because I think as you get older, you're kind of like, I want to be able to talk and have conversations about real life. Yeah. Whether it's negative or positive or things that are working out or things that are not working, I want to be able to talk.
It's
right.
I won't stop talking. Like now I'm looking at the time like, holy shit, bro, I'll keep going. You know, it's
like you know, but we live in a society where we have micro content.
Yeah.
We scroll past things, we likes. And so for the people that are tuning into the podcast for the first time, Always Sunny in the 6 is all about getting back to having conversations.
Yeah, I love
it. And it's encouraging people that you don't need to have a podcast to talk to people. Just pick up the phone and just talk. Because, you know, we might be in another lockdown where do you feel like, Danny, do you feel like we got more connected with this lockdown, or do you feel...
Bro, I was like in bed, let's say at 2 a.m, getting a FaceTime call from one of my clients asking me if he's cutting his hair properly. So like, if that's not connected, I don't know what the fuck connected is. Cause like, dude, I woke up to a FaceTime call from my mortgage broker and his wife's cutting his hair. You know what I mean?
Right.
So right. I feel like yo, in 2000, the millennium, when everyone was talking about like the power going out and like the world shutting down. I remember there was a time around that I don't know if it was before or after, but the power actually in Mississauga was like the grid was just wiped out.
Okay.
So we ended up going to my uncle's house, all like friends, cousins, family members, or whatever. We all gathered.
Right.
And like it was just a moment where like nothing mattered.
Yeah.
It was complete darkness, and you're just with the people you love.
Yeah.
So in this moment now where we are connected through phones, and like we're really fortunate that COVID hit in a time where like you have all these distractions. But I truly felt that peace, that quietness.
Yeah.
And yeah, dude, I felt like I connected with so many more people. And it was cool to see, because it's cool to get a client come in my chair because they need a haircut and I'm making money.
Right.
But there's a difference when I'm not making money talking to you, and you don't need me to cut your hair while talking to me.
Yeah.
So it may be, hey Danny, what's a clipper I should buy? But then it turns into what's going on. And you really get to know your clients on a personal level.
Yeah. It's just a different level of currency.
Yeah.
Like, you're getting paid, but now also you're learning as well, right?
Yeah.
When I was in Bracebridge, Muskoka a couple weekends ago, me and my girl were there. We had a fucking like crazy tornado to drive through.
Okay. Oh, that's
I kid you not. So I'm driving, and as I'm driving, a huge, like, it felt like a rock hit the windshield. Oh, wow. I'm like, what the hell? So I assumed it came from a truck ahead of me. All of a sudden, there's literally ice the size of golf balls. I kid you not. I've never seen this in my entire life.
I've never been
by Bracebridge on the way to Muskoka. It's coming down.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, what do I do? So cars are pulling off the highway.
Yeah.
And I pulled off right away because I'm like, it's going to damage the car.
100%.
Like 100%. Like, this isn't just hail. This is literally the size of golf balls.
That's
it's like this big. I pulled up into a barn, and there's a family there, and they're like waving at us, come in.
That's amazing.
So everyone's looking for cover. I couldn't find cover, but I was like, we should go inside, right? We couldn't get out because it was coming down, and I'm like telling my girl, I'm like, hey, we're gonna get hurt if you come out, right?
Yeah, if you go out, you're getting out.
Lasted for about maybe a couple minutes, and we went inside, grabbed the beer with his family. We just hung out.
That's amazing, man.
And got back to the car, went to Bracebridge, and then when we got to the resort, we were staying at a resort, dude, electricity went out. Right?
Oh my God.
No backup generators, no nothing. So literally we had no electricity up until 10 p.m. We had dinner reservations canceled.
Oh, that sucks, man.
Tried to order pizza. No one was delivering food.
Yeah,
like everyone's like, there's no electricity. Yeah. So I'm like, what the hell? So like going back to what you were saying, like all we had was like nature and darkness. And it was just, and like we tried to put our phones away and stuff, whatnot, but like it's kind of bitter. Like it was a humble reminder that, you know, in a world of distractions, of constant distractions, it's nice to be at peace with yourself and just like lay low.
Honestly.
And also, by the way, the car, when we got back, fucked up.
Seriously? Is it your car? Or
no,
is
it's my girl's, but still, like, she has to
yeah.
go through the insurance process now. Like,
Oh my God.
the windshield was cracked. Like, there's like little dents throughout the car.
That's insane.
And like, not like, hopefully I think it's gonna be a write-off. Like, it's
For
too
real?
like it's too intense of a paint job, I think, for them to fix it.
On that one, because that.
Yeah, but I've never seen. I'm wondering if that ever happened in downtown Toronto.
Oh my God, so many. Like, do you know how many claims? First of all, but other than that, like people.
Like the buildings, like the RBC
Yeah.
Tower. Like, I think climate change. Going back to this year, like climate change is a really important thing to look into.
Yeah, did you see that clock that they put up in New York?
No.
It's like the countdown. Like it's like it had like 7 years on it before climate change really will affect us.
Oh yeah.
Like basically, like the world. Like I don't want to say world ending, but
Right.
there's a countdown. Like and it's basically saying in this window we have time to actually reverse, or slightly reverse
Some
any
of
the damages we've done.
So like the word in the book I'm reading, Sapiens, they talk about like how it took millions and millions of years for society to get to where they got in the 1990s.
Yeah.
But from 1990, I'm gonna say even the year we were born,
Yeah.
from 1989
Yeah.
to today, society has evolved exponentially.
Yeah.
Think
it's-
about all of technology that's changed from the day you were in kindergarten, like
Till
when
now.
to today, and like even now within the last 5 years, the level of technology and how much it's advancing, it's crazy. And it's not
So
actually,
quick.
it's not a good thing. It could be, there's negative implications behind it too, right?
I feel like some good like I was watching some stuff on AI, and like obviously I'm scared of AI and that whole
Are you?
world. I'm terrified. But like all this Terminator shit.
I have
that's
one.
coming around.
You ever see those robo vacuums?
Yeah, that's just, next thing you know, it wakes up, you try to kill you. But like like AI is cool for like, let's just say it actually can take data and maybe like come up with cures. You know,
Right.
cures for like diseases that we still haven't figured out, but we should. Like, to be honest, with all this data and all this information that we have to kind of make a simpler life,
Right.
we should really be focusing on things that matter, like health.
Yeah.
100%.
Absolutely.
So I think like that's like the good part of evolution with technology, but again, it comes with all the negative
Yeah.
aspects.
They're all, of course, and like I think there was something I read about a documentary actually I saw where they were talking about 3D printers and
Yeah.
organs being printed.
Yeah, like
That's fucked up.
That's fucked up.
Like,
That's fucked up.
And like, so when I read *Sapiens*, it starts up with like talking about like, you know, when humans were hunter gatherers.
Yeah.
To think today that we're able to print.
Like print anything.
No, we're
Like
able to
organs.
even like beyond meat. We're able to create meat that looks and tastes like meat,
Yeah.
but isn't meat. It's just beyond my mind. Like
It's
we've come a
crazy.
long way to be where we are today, and I think that it's great. Like it's awesome.
Of course.
Unfortunately, our lifetimes are too short to see what's going to happen 100 years from
I
today.
know, that's-
but enjoy what you have today, man.
Exactly.
Other than that, man,
Yeah,
bro,
no,
it's been a blessing to have you. We've been talking about this for some time.
Yeah. I'm
Glad to have you in the studio. 1289 Essentials. Where can people find you? Where can they?
So you can. We're selling it at the fitting rooms at the barbershop I work at, and you can
Okay.
find it at www.isaac1289.com.
Okay.
So and like even on my Instagram is at Isaac_NO
Right,
1289.
And for everybody on my listening platforms, of course, follow me on Instagram as well. Always Sunny the 6. I will tag Danny,
do.
his Instagram, and of course his business account. 1289 Essentials.
Way to
For
go,
all my
man.
hustlers and entrepreneurs out there, you know, it's fourth quarter right now. You know, you can either be praying or playing.
100%.
Right, let's get the bag and shoot the basket and shoot
Let's
your
do it.
shot and make it happen.
Honestly, and also check in on people, man, because like this is like mental health month.
Yeah, it is October.
Yeah,
Yeah,
please, like
Mental Health
check-
Awareness
yeah.
Month. Yeah,
Check in on everybody and just make sure someone's good. You know what I mean?
yeah. It's so important. Like, you know, like just one last comment. Like, Da Baby,
I know, like that's been on my mind all day, man.
right? Like for the people who don't know, Da Baby's a rapper, of course. His brother passed away from suicide
Yeah.
a couple of days ago,
Yeah.
and it's just insane. So it's important to check up people because it's like people might be good. And this is someone coming from someone like myself, where I used to be in a very dark place a couple of years
Yeah.
ago, and we all have our struggles
We
and
all have our
journeys,
moments.
and it's important to have those constant communication channels because, you know, I have access to so many people,
Yeah.
but some people out there don't,
It's so true.
Right.
It's so true.
and some people are less inclined to reach out. Like if I have a problem, I'll reach out and be like, hey,
Yeah.
can I talk to you? But some people don't.
So people are they're in their head and they're like, yo, this person doesn't want to listen. This person is busy. But
Yeah.
honestly, like if you're one person that has someone to reach to and you're going through something, even if you don't have someone to reach to, just fucking reach out to somebody.
Yeah,
you know.
yeah.
And hopefully the person you reach out to, that's the other thing. Like the other person has to play a part.
Right.
Hopefully that person can acknowledge it. You know what I mean?
100%. 100. It's like what I did with you at the beginning of the podcast. Do a pulse check.
Yeah.
Check in on your friends. Do a quick pulse check, whether it's a message. But otherwise, guys, hope you guys have a blessed weekend.
For sure.
This podcast will be out Monday, so
That's
happy
amazing.
Monday morning.
Happy Monday morning. Yeah, I'm not gonna be so happy.
How come?
Yeah, no, because I'm talking about morning person going to
Oh,
shop
yeah.
early in the morning.
Yes,
yeah.
of course.
Not about the podcast.
Well, you can tell your clients to shut up and listen to the podcast as you're cutting.
Exactly. Yo, put on your headphones. Like, let me get to my thing. You can hear why I'm